Okay, we're on, and you got a light there, right?
Right.
All right. What we're going to talk about is, first of all, my name is Pete Fleming. This is Wilson Clifton right here. We're going to talk about Christmas. Let me start off with you, Wilson. What do you remember about Christmas when you were growing up?
Well, I guess I remember several things. I don't know. I know one year I got a wagon, and I don't know how many years difference that, but I know I got a BB gun. It was a Daisy BB gun I got.
Was it something that you had asked for?
You're right. I asked for a BB gun. Yeah, I was a hunting back then. I'd like to hunt, get out, but
what did you?
but it was just a.
What did you do with it? Did you shoot at tin cans, or did you shoot?
A lot of tin cans.
Okay.
Smoked some bottles that I shouldn't have shot those bottles. I know.
But that was the thing to do
That
at
was
the
the
time.
thing to do then, and it was you just get out and target practice. I reckon. I don't know. I just enjoyed doing it. And then we got a long train. One year I remember our train, with long track and all. I don't know whatever happened to that train, but it was a nice train set.
Okay. That was something that was a big item. It was something. It was a major.
I don't know what happened to it either.
I think in fact I think it was mine and Cliff together. I believe is what it was. It was the item we got together one year. That train was.
It was a major item, wasn't it?
It was a major item, and
Right.
it was a nice train.
They would blow smoke
Yep.
up the, put a little peel in the smokestack up there, and it would make real smoke.
I remember that train. I remember seeing it when I come along.
What happened to that train?
It was a nice train. It had a little milk car on it, and had a whistle on it, a log
car on it. It had logs. It would dump the logs. It would run up to it, and you'd hit something with a button, and it would.
Right.
It was for that time. It was first class.
Right, right. I remember just talking in Christmas right there. One year, I think we were living at the dairy in Littleton at the time. When I got up, y'all were, of course you're a little bit older than I am right here. Y'all were being a little mischievous and cut the lights out, cut the power switch off at the electrical box. And I couldn't see. I went in there to see what we had for Christmas morning.
There was no lights.
And the lights was gone. I had to feel. I had to feel around trying to figure out what I had.
I had forgotten all about that.
Come to find out that one of y'all or both of you probably
I remember something like that now.
had went in there. All you had to do was pull the switch, I think, and it cut the power off of it. There. I couldn't see nothing.
But one year they meant to give me something, and they forgot it evidently, because it was several days later that Mama was cleaning up and putting the Christmas stuff up and all. She called me in there, or something called us in there, and this particular thing was said it was up under the table there, the coat rack or something.
Something now. I do remember. I had forgotten about that too, but yeah, I do remember that now.
Yeah.
How did
It was a day or so later.
How did they explain that?
It was
Just
at the time it was a good explanation.
It had got pushed up under the here and got lost.
Oh,
Right, yeah.
Santa had just
overlooked
pushed
it.
it up under there, and it.
It got overlooked. Yeah.
Right, right.
But it was there.
Okay.
But it was yeah.
I remember though. I remember living at the log house. I don't remember too much about it.
Okay.
But I don't remember. I don't even remember what the kitchen looked like in there exactly. I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I remember it had an upstairs to it.
Yeah, I remember a little bit about it. I do. I remember the step.
And I remember the day that we moved from over there over to the home place.
Okay.
I had a goat and a goat cart back there at that time, and I took the goat and the goat cart and went through the woods. Went on across Nan's place there and over to the place over there, which it won't far if you went through the woods.
It won't fall through the woods to
Not
the.
through the woods, but they got fences up now where you
Right.
can't go.
You can't go easily that
But
way.
then, I mean, that was a regular path back and forth through there.
Right.
But yeah, I remember moving on the wagon. It was several 2-horse wagons that we'd put the furniture on, and I remember walking beside it. I couldn't have been over. Oh my goodness, I couldn't have been over about 4. I don't reckon 5 at the most. 4, I reckon I was. I don't know how old I was when we moved, but I do remember a little bit about it, and I do remember a little bit about the log cabin.
3, not hardly quite 4. It seemed like to me, somewhere or another.
Was old May? I don't know where old May was born. Where
She was born over there.
Yeah, I think I was.
That wrong.
I think I was the only one born at the.
You were born at the house there on Daddy's place, yeah.
Right.
But-
I was born on Thanksgiving Day.
But Christmas now, that was the longest time, from the time you start talking about Christmas until the 25th of December. It just seemed like it was at least 2 or 3 months. I mean, it just.
But it couldn't have been over, you know, it was, the folks didn't start talking about it till after Thanksgiving, but it was those 3 or 4 weeks.
It just seemed that long, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: anything? Can you relate anything particular about Mama or Daddy? I know Daddy, on a day or 2 before Christmas, and particularly looked like Christmas Eve, a lot of times we always had something to do, maybe pulling corn or something like that to kind of, I don't know, I always figured it was maybe to get me tired where I'd sleep good that night, so I wouldn't get up so early. Do you remember anything particular that you did? Now I know, you know, when you got a tree or something too, we're going to talk about that too.
I know we'd get the wood up. We'd get some wood up, some winter wood up and all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a day or 2.
Some of the best time you have in the whole year would be when I've been out there. Remember when we've been out there and we'd be start getting wood and it would start snowing, and that's when you really think about you need some wood when it starts snowing.
Right.
Ooh, good gracious.
You thinking about it then? You better get on the
wood in the house.
Better get some wood close.
Wood pile, yeah.
Close to where you can get to it, ain't it?
But then Dad and Boyd would be getting the wood, and sometimes we'd goof off and start playing boxing and dog. You know, and running around goofing off.
That was just playing.
He's telling it like it is, Wilson. He's telling it just like it is.
In other words, we would put, when it got the snow deep enough to make a footprint, we start playing boxing and dog.
Right,
and backtrack and stuff like, walk backwards and stuff like that.
You know,
about that, I remember one year it was snowing, and Daddy went out the front door, and he said, "Y'all come and find me in a little while." So we waited. He might have told us wait 5 or 10 minutes, but when we went, we got to a bush down there. The bush must have been about 8-10 feet tall. I don't know how in the world he got up on top of it, but we got there and we got to looking, and finally he just slid off the top of that bush, and it was snow up on there. But I don't know how he got up on it, but it must have been at least 7-8 feet tall, and it was just amazing how he would. Well, you know, he just got up on there, but.
Right.
But he liked to play in the snow just like he was a youngin' too.
Right.
Now at Christmas time, getting back to Christmas, on Christmas Eve night, we'd always, you know, we'd set the box, you know.
Well, we had a box.
And he would always come to you and help you write your Christmas list.
Okay.
Remember that? Or you remember?
Yeah, right.
And that would make it about perfect. It would come out about right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: in your mind, either one of you, did it make any difference what size box it was?
It didn't make no difference.
No, it would run over.
It was always flowing. I don't care what kind of box you had.
The reason I ask, I always, when I come along, I had the idea that the bigger box you had, well, it meant a difference. You know, Santa Claus would have to put more stuff to fill the box up, and but y'all just went with whatever box you could get, huh?
Well, I tell you what, with all the children around that over, the time you hit boxes there, it was a room full of stuff, and every time you got
it was stuff there, wasn't it?
It was a room full of stuff.
It was always.
I don't know how Santa Claus ever found that much.
It was always plenty to eat.
It was always plenty. It was always plenty.
Yeah. Well, we were left at home sometimes now, and they would go to town, and there was some long days too now. I mean, you know, they'd be going to town, we'd be there. This would be getting close to Christmas time too now.
Okay.
I remember being there like that. But then in wintertime now, hanging out clothes up there in the cold.
Did your hands get cold?
It would be cold enough for their sheets out there to freeze into ice.
Well, they would freeze.
They'd be
Before they
laying,
would freeze
they'd be stiff as a stiff.
before you get them
They
hung out.
froze, yeah.
Right, right. Times are different than one. I mean, you know, they were fun times. You had a lot of good times, didn't you?
Had a lot of good
think,
times.
Oh,
You think,
yes,
you know,
special.
right there.
But you didn't have TV, but you didn't know anything about TV, so you didn't know you missed TV.
You remember anything about the radio? Of course, I know we didn't
radio.
have.
Oh yeah.
What did you listen to on the radio?
Radio.
What did you listen to? Anything particular you can remember?
Yeah, WCKY. Was it? What was that?
Some kind of Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, Ohio. It was a
Okay.
station out of Cincinnati, Ohio, that played country and western music. And I've been to sleep listening to the Grand Ole Opry on that many a night.
And then
You know, Nan used to look at that. I
fall,
listened to it a lot, didn't he? Nan,
in the
I
fall
think
of
he
the
liked
year,
Nan a lot.
That's what we'd have on the radio out there in the Pacos. You'd always
Right,
have the radio on
I was doing the tobacco.
the Grand Ole Opry station out there when we'd be fixing up tobacco on the sticks, packing it up and getting it ready to go to market, getting it ready to go to sale.
So we had a big radio in the front room there where we'd all kind of listen to. We'd shut that on and we'd all.
Can you remember listening to any particular thing like Amos and Andy or either?
Listen to Lone Ranger,
Lone
Sky
Ranger?
King, and
Lone Ranger
three.
What was a squeaking door there was a squeaking door that was on to the program.
You could hear it squeaking. They had the sound of it squeaking on.
The door, when you'd come on in, the squeak would just be a long squeak like they'd open the door, real slow.
Okay.
Mama was listening to Queen for a Day.
Queen for a Day. I remember her listening to that.
Yeah.
She used to write the names down for the Queen and
Amos and Andy used to be on there too.
Okay. So y'all. I can remember listening to some of the programs. Seemed like to me it was one I used to listen to was Beulah. I don't know whether y'all remember that one or not, but
I'm like I do, but not that much.
but I can remember. I can't really remember exactly what it was about now, but I know you know, we didn't ever get a TV until after we come back from the dairy.
Right. That was 50. I don't know, what, 54, something along in there. 1954, four-wheel we had. But I was 8 years old before we got electricity there. I remember getting electricity at the house.
How about
I
that?
do too. That was just before we went to Louisville.
Just before we went to Louisville. Yeah. Remember getting.
Of course, we didn't have a bathroom until we got back.
We didn't have an inside bathroom.
Right. We had a
53 when we moved back from the dairy.
Okay. We had.
And we put that on what used to be the back porch. We took that and closed it in and put a bathroom out there.
Okay.
Greatest thing ever was.
That beat that outhouse anytime, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Now, Daddy used to say for Christmas that they didn't do hardly anything or decorating anything until Christmas Eve. They would go get a tree Christmas Eve.
That was at his house, right?
At his house, and bring back some.
Yeah.
Okay.
And bring back some
All right.
holly
Okay.
and some pine
We
limbs
used to get some running cedar.
and some running cedar if there was some around, and there was always some around most of the time back then.
We used to try to find some mistletoe.
And they'd come in and put them on the mantelpiece and put the tree up.
Yeah.
And then the day after Christmas, they'd get rid of it. I think that's what you remember saying.
This was at Daddy's house, right?
Yeah, at his house.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to do it several weeks ahead of time.
Yeah, I think Mama was her where she was her home
think
place.
her
They did it a little
tradition
bit
was
longer, didn't they?
Yeah, her tradition was that they went a little bit earlier and they stayed up till about New Year's Day or something.
Till after New Year's Day, I
After
think.
New Year's Day, I believe
I
it
think
was,
you're right. I remember her
But
saying.
we'd go during the fall. We'd find a cedar tree that we thought would might make a good Christmas tree, and then we would keep tabs on that, and then we'd go get that. We'd go cut that tree down for Christmas whenever we.
And you know, it didn't really make any difference whether it was on our place or somebody. You know, people didn't care then, did they?
They didn't care.
They didn't care. They didn't.
Well,
you know, I mean, it was a Christmas tree. It was a time of celebration.
You started walking, you'd walk
of you
you
know.
didn't stop walking until you found a tree if you crossed two lines.
That's right.
Well,
That's exactly right. And you'd always come across the exact tree that.
You'd come up with it something
would look,
and it would be just right.
But you know, one side of it would always be a little
Turn
bit.
that to the wall.
Turn it
You
to the
couldn't
wall,
see it.
didn't we? Turn it to the wall. We'd never see it time you put the decorations on it and turn it to the wall. Right there.
And Mama would cook up on some cakes and pies now at Christmas time. Mama tell you right now.
You exactly right. What do you remember specifically about that? Anything specifically? I can remember helping Mama some in the kitchen getting stuff.
She had coconuts, and she had her favorite ones: chocolate, coconuts, and.
She could make the best chocolate
And then
pie.
she always made them fruit cakes.
Yeah. Good fruit
The ones
cakes.
you had to cook in, she made the ones
refrigerated kind and
the
cooked
icebox ones they called too.
Okay, all right. Yeah, they were.
And then Santa Claus would taste all them things. When Christmas Eve night come, all them
And little pieces would be gone, wouldn't it?
Pieces, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I know we talked a little bit about Christmas Eve night, but is anything else you can think about specifically? Nothing stands out in your mind? All right. Let me ask you this. Can you think of anything? I know we talked about some gifts you got, some Christmas gifts. How about Santa? When you were growing up, do you remember seeing Santa at town or talking to him or anything particular stands out in your mind?
I see him at town, but I don't know where.
Did you go up?
I don't remember them talking to him like they talking to him now. Seem like, but we saw him every year.
At town in a store somewhere or something.
Yeah.
Did you have a particular store? I know it won't as many now, like malls and all now. But like Rose's or Western Auto or something like that.
Back then, 5 and 10 cent store was the Rose's 5 and 10 was the.
I guess
was the most
was about it, wasn't it? Was about it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's see. Can you name your children in the order that they were born? Full names, Wilson.
Gregory Kendall Fleming, and he was born in May the 5th, 1960. And then Gail, 61, excuse me, he was born in 61, May the 5th, 61, and Gail was born Donna Gail Fleming was born in June the 27th, 1963.
All right. Okay. All right. Cliff, you got
Well, David Earl was born December the 10th in 1963.
Okay.
And his mama was Audrey.
Okay. I remember I was in the service at the time, and I came home from Fort Dix, New Jersey, and I remember Mom and I went down to see David Earl during the period of time that I was at home in December. I can remember that very well. Is it anything else that either one of you would like to add? Oh yeah. Did we talk about you running away from Mama, Wilson?
No, but that was something. That was something.
Elaborate on that a little bit.
I don't know. I think I went in the room. You were the baby then, and I think you were in there sleep or trying to go to sleep, and I went in. I don't know. I must have been. Well, let's see. If you was a baby, I must have been about 7 or 8. Well, about 8 years old now, because I think it's 7 years difference between you and I. But anyway, somewhere between 7 and 8.
Right.
And I went in the room and I woke you up, and you started hollering, and then Mama was going to get my britches, and I said, not right now, and I run up the path, and Boyd, she told Boyd to catch me, and when he caught me, I threw dirt in his eyes, and then he turned me loose, and I run on around and went upstairs, and Mama's health was not really good, and she couldn't go upstairs, so she didn't come up there to get me. For one reason or another, she probably could have, but she was She was a good mama. She didn't come and get me.
She let you slide, did she?
She let me slide on that one. I was so pitiful then. When I got back down, I told her I wasn't going to do that no more. But anyway, that was the wrong thing to do, I know. But then it was the thing to do. I just couldn't resist.
But you know, I know you've heard Daddy tell over the years when he used to tell stuff. He used to tell a lot of stuff that he did was mischievous and what have you. So you probably got it kind of honest, don't you, Ray?
I probably got a little bit from Daddy. Yeah. I'll blame it on him.
Yeah, I remember him telling a whole lot of stories. I know Cliff and you both remember them too. A lot of them. He told about the teacher wanted to go with him home, and he'd been mischievous, and she wanted to go home and go with him home, make sure that they got the message at home.
Right, he was right.
And he afterwards, can you walk along?
Yeah.
Right.
And he really didn't have to do it, but he was making her believe that she was going to have to walk along across the creek.
We're going to have to walk along to get across the creek to get over there.
And I think he talked her out of it.
Yeah.
And another time, she went with him home, and he didn't go to his home. He went over to.
Which one was it? Was it
Raymond Rose?
No, it was.
I don't remember.
He went over to. Who lives on down the road there?
Robinson?
The Robinson place. He went over to the Robinson place.
Go twice as far.
Yeah, and it was getting kind of late when he got there, and he got to the back door, and he told the teacher, said, "Go on in." Said, "Mama's in the kitchen there," and he opened the door, and the teacher went on in, and it wasn't his house. As soon as he got in and shut the door, he left. He went on back home, and he didn't hear nothing else about it until he went back. He used to tell some stories, didn't he?
Yeah, he could tell some stories.
Y'all remember any other stories?
I can't make none of his stories now. I probably got some mischievous things that I was few, but
John Raymond Rose was about the same way one time. Raymond Rose and him and just 2 or 3 of them. They went to see some. They went to see a girl or something up there in North and he got up there and he knocked on the door there and opened the door and told Raymond to go ahead on, and he backed up. Well, Raymond went on in there and didn't know the girl and didn't want nothing. And he waited another 2 or 3 minutes, and then he went in there and introduced him, but he introduced him wrong. Somewhere or another. It was 3 of them. Aluminum coffin or something.
I remember him telling that. I kind of lost track of it too, but since you mentioned it, I remember him telling that story too.
But he introduced it wrong, and then he got to telling the girl about somebody talking about how ugly Raymond Rose was. And that was Raymond Rose sitting right there.
He was right there, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he had done introduced him as another name, and
he could tell some stories.
He had time. He had them.
Yeah, Daddy was he loved to talk. He loved to people. He loved to talk to people, and
now he had them.
He loved to talk about horses.
Yeah, he had them horses. Now you know.
Him and Dick White used to probably have traded back and forth the same horse 3 or 4 times.
We always had horses at home when we were growing up until I mean they were way after I left home before. I mean they had horses. We had a pony. We had a pony when we were growing up that Cliff and I used to.
I remember it was that last pony I got. He got me. I had it up until the time I was 16. But we had got it. I hadn't rode it, and we had only that son that was gonna ride it after church that evening. And both of us got in. He was on the horse and I was on the pony, and when we said get up, my pony took off and went just running just as fast as he could run. Daddy didn't even know take a step. My pony went on up the road, I mean, and made the turn up there to the right. Had gone all the way up to the path and made the right turn. And I finally slowed it down enough up there to get off of it and let it back. And they found out somewhere or another that it had been used to racing.
Mm-hmm.
It had been used to racing. They was going to run that big horse. But it had to go. It couldn't mess around. But after that, it won't never no problem.
Okay.
It won't never no problem. We rode it down from a lot of years after that.
Yeah. Of course, I know you still like both of you like horses, but you still have some horses and still fool with them now. I know you love to fool with them. Whatever. I know Wilson. You probably used to ride.
I used to ride, but I haven't ridden a horse in
a
few years.
I haven't been on one either in a long time myself.
Yeah, I was on one Sunday, last Sunday, for 2.5 hours in the Christmas parade down there.
Okay. So you rode in the Christmas parade this year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
06.
So you had a
but the day after Thanksgiving, I went up to Trotman, North Carolina. That's 30 miles just south of Charlotte. And I was up there Friday and Saturday, and they sold over 600 horses, mules, ponies, and donkeys, and 150, a little over, buggies and wagons.
Okay.
And it was people there from South Carolina, Tennessee, Ohio.
Okay.
And
well, I know Dad is, throughout his life. I mean, he loved people and he loved his family and what have you. But his real passion in life, I guess, were horses.
He loved
horses. He loved to talk about them. He loved to ride. He loved to show them. He loved to trade. Same horse, like I said a while ago, several times.
Yeah, he used to, back.
He would train a colt. He would go out there hour on hour and run them around in a circle and hook a little slide to them and get them used to pulling weight. And
he used to ride in the horse shows around North Carolina there too. Used to have one up around Manson a lot of times. What was it, ride out?
I was up there several times.
But we used to ride in those horse shows a lot. Really?
Right.
Now he went to. This was something we done regular for a long time. It was Easter. We would always go to a horse show. Where was that at? In the Oxford area? Or you remember?
Could have been. I don't remember. I remember somewhere that way.
But anyway, then we went to the fair a lot. We went to White Lake. We would go to the fair and we would go to horse shows. That was,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I used to look forward to going to White Lake too. We
picked cucumbers. Then the last picking of cucumbers would be when we would take that money, and that's what we would go to White Lake on.
I can remember going there too. We enjoyed going down there, and of course White Lake is a lot different now from what it was then. It used to have.
You could go out in the water up to as far as you could go and still look down and see your feet.
See your toes.
We didn't have to have Greg Fisher and them to tell us it was hot.
Yeah, right.
We knew it was hot when we got in that water field or in that cucumber field.
Yeah.
We might not have had no thermometer.
But we'd scratch around and we'd get those cucumbers though.
Yeah. I remember vaguely myself moving to the dairy that Uncle Claude started down there, and we moved in there. I was maybe 4 years old at the time, but I can remember going down there. I remember riding in the truck.
I think it was January of '49.
What do you remember about that? I know we had a dog down there, and do you remember what the dog's name was?
Yeah, that was Grit, wasn't it?
Grit? Okay, okay.
They ordered him from Iowa. He ordered him as a cattle dog.
It was white, wasn't it?
It was white with a black eye. Something ran his eye. The reason we called him Grit, because he had one black spot ran his eye there somewhere.
Okay.
But it was a natural bobtail shepherd. It was a bred for handling cows. And he could handle a cow too.
He could bring the cows up,
He could bring the cows up to you. Go out in the field to get them. He'd go down the woods and he wouldn't bark at them. He'd never bark at the cow. He'd always go down the other way. He'd run around. He'd bring them up.
Okay. He would.
But
they wouldn't take nothing. I mean, the cows would come on up.
If you could try to load a cow in a truck or trailer or something, and the cow gets stubborn, he always could go up behind them and nip that heel.
Just nip them a little bit, wouldn't
nip them, and they'd kick at him, and I've never seen one kick
step aside.
He would duck his head. He had a way of nipping and ducking.
And he knew that naturally, didn't he? Didn't nobody have to train him.
That was a natural born bred in that dog.
He knew it.
Just a natural cow
He knew
handling dog.
it natural.
Smart, that was a smart dog.
And what was you telling me about the jumping up in the truck?
Oh, we'd go head toward the truck, and he knew we were gonna get in the truck, and he'd jump in the truck before we could get in and shut the door. We'd go to town, and we could stay for 2 hours at town, and he'd stay in the back of that truck, and he wouldn't get out. No, you had to worry about nobody getting in that truck, because he wouldn't let nobody get in that truck. But then when we got ready to go, when we got home, by the time before we could cut the engine off and open the door, he was out the truck. So, but he wouldn't get out while he was in town. No, he'd stay right in that truck. He was just
Okay.
He'd stay right there.
It was a smart dog. I can remember that dog too. In fact, I got a picture of the dog.
We had some of the best eating when we went down there, right off the river. When we started, the folks down there showed us how to catch some catfish.
Oh yeah.
And some traps.
Okay.
And so we made us some traps. They were showing us how to
wire traps out of hog wire and chicken wire.
Chicken wire. Mm-hmm.
And we used to catch a lot of catfish. Mama would fix them. She could fry catfish.
The first summer we were down there, I know we eat catfish and everybody would. Pretty regular that far.
Right, regular. And then we'd get tired of them and we'd pull them out of the water for a few weeks, and then we would put some corn out there in the old wash pot and let it get sour. What you do, you bait it with corn. You put either corn in, let it get sour, and you put it in the traps, and then you throw it back in the river. And you go down there and you'd get all you want, and you could even sell a few to some people down there that was fishing, so they could go back home and tell them, the folks around home, look how big a catfish I caught.
We had some good times.
$1 or $2 for them.
And then, I don't know where it was. Anyway, for a year or two down there before the dog come up there one evening, and I was on the pony, and it reached up there and
That was
and snapped at my ankle, and it broke the skin there or something. So I ended up taking the rabies shots. But it wasn't that bad. It was
we didn't know catch that dog. I don't think, did we? We didn't find that
I
dog.
don't think so. Must not have. But anyway, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't about. Didn't have to do it. It seemed like me about 2 weeks.
Right.
So I know they'd take me uptown every day there for 2 weeks. I think it was.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna close out then right here. Is there anything else y'all can think of that you'd like to? Anything particular?
Just a whole lot, but I tell you what. No, we've talked back a whole lot of things right now. We've been talking, and it's brought back a lot of memories.
And it is still a bunch of stuff out there.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, maybe we can do this again another time.
Dad always loved to pack that bike up and put some weights on it and have it mashed down.
But you know who would wrap the ones that would go on top of the pile of the bike, and then Mama would cap them. The chickens make the prettiest tobacco caps on when you're packing it up like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We'll wrap it up. My name is Pete Fleming. The day is Saturday, December the 16th, 2006. We're having a family gathering here today, and we've had a good time. And I thank both of you for taking the time to do this. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Enjoy it.
Enjoy.
All right.